You can fall back to sleep in under 10 minutes by simply tricking your nervous system with a specific breathing pattern. Most people spend hours tossing and turning because they try to force their brains to shut down. But this creates a biological paradox that actually keeps you alert. Therefore, the secret is not willpower, but shifting your internal state from high alert to deep recovery. You likely wake up because your body's arousal system has accidentally taken the wheel, overriding your natural sleep drive. When you fight this by staring at the ceiling or begging your brain to sleep, you are essentially slamming on the gas pedal while your transmission is in park. Understanding this biological dance is the only way to reclaim your rest. Stop trying to force sleep and start inviting it back into your life tonight. This simple shift is the foundation of every technique you are about to master. You often fail to return to sleep because your current habits are actively signaling to your body that it is time to be alert. Most people treat the middle of the night like a problem to be solved with more effort. But this extra mental energy keeps your heart rate elevated and your blood pressure spiked. Therefore, you must stop looking at the clock, as calculating how many hours of rest remain only triggers a stress response in your brain. Avoiding your phone is equally important because the artificial light tells your internal clock that it is time to start the day. Even staying in bed while feeling frustrated creates a negative association between your mattress and anxiety. You are essentially teaching your brain that the bed is a place for stress rather than recovery. Break this pattern now by removing these common hurdles from your night.
You need to understand that your sleep is a tug of war between your fight or flight mode and your rest and digest system. When you wake up suddenly, your sympathetic nervous system has triggered an alert. But this is not a sign of permanent damage or a broken internal clock. Therefore, you must intentionally activate the vagus nerve, which acts like a biological brake for your entire body. Breathing deeply into your belly physically forces your diaphragm to signal that you are safe, which lowers your heart rate and clears away stress chemicals. Think of this as flipping a switch from danger mode to safety mode without needing a single supplement or pill. Your body is just waiting for the right signal to stand down. Give it that signal, and the rest will naturally follow. You can use the 4-7-8 method to manually override your body's alertness by controlling the rhythm of your oxygen intake. Start by inhaling through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that air for 7 seconds, and then let it out through your mouth for a slow count of 8. This specific timing forces your heart rate to slow down, but it requires focus to keep the count steady in your mind. Therefore, visualizing the numbers as you count prevents your brain from spiraling into stressful thoughts about tomorrow's schedule. Repeating this cycle 7 to 10 times usually does the trick for most people. You will notice a heavy, warm sensation spreading through your limbs as your nervous system finally settles into a quiet state. This physical response is your cue that you are finally ready to drift off.
You are likely holding on to hidden stress in your jaw, shoulders, and stomach, which keeps your brain in a state of high awareness. Please take a moment to hit the like button if you value these practical health insights, as it tells your brain that you are finally prioritizing your physical recovery. Subscribe to the channel so you never lose this roadmap to better sleep, and consider sharing this with a friend, because helping someone beat chronic exhaustion makes you a hero. After you have liked and subscribed, start progressive muscle relaxation by tensing your toes for 5 seconds, then releasing. Feel the tension leave your body as you move up through your calves, thighs, and chest. Contrast is the key here, as you must feel the tightness before you can truly let it go. Therefore, focus on the warmth that floods your muscles after you release the tension in each section. You often stay awake because your brain is stuck in a loop of logical, high-speed thinking. Cognitive shuffling works by disrupting that logical flow, but you must choose a neutral word like blanket to start the process correctly. Therefore, take the first letter of that word and visualize 3 random items starting with that same letter, such as balloon,
bridge, or butterfly. Your goal is to see these items as fleeting, dreamlike images rather than complex thoughts or problems. If your mind jumps back to a to-do list, simply return to the next letter of your word and keep shuffling. This technique pushes your brain into the hypnagogic state, which is that wonderful fuzzy space between being awake and dreaming. It effectively tricks your brain into thinking it is already asleep, making the transition effortless. You might be tempted to use sleep aids, but these can often mask the underlying issues instead of teaching your body how to settle down on its own. Relying on external triggers to force rest often leads to a reliance that makes your natural sleep cycle even weaker over time. Therefore, you should look at your environment for hidden inflammatory risks like temperature fluctuations or inconsistent bedtimes. Even a room that is slightly too warm can keep your body in a state of thermal stress, preventing the deep drop in core temperature required for restorative sleep. Small mistakes, like checking emails at 2 a.m., send massive signals to your body that it is time to be active. You are much better off mastering these natural techniques than relying on substances that leave you feeling groggy. You might wonder if these techniques work for everyone. Yet studies show that when people stop trying to force sleep and start using these relaxation protocols, their time to fall back asleep drops significantly. Many people have successfully retrained their brains to view 3 a.m. awakenings as minor events rather than a crisis. There is no biological rule stating you must sleep in one solid block, but constant stress about lost hours is what makes you feel terrible the next morning. Therefore, seeing this as a skill rather than a failing changes everything about your experience. You are capable of teaching your heart rate to drop and your muscles to melt. The data is clear. Those who control their arousal levels spend far less time awake in the dark. Your biology is waiting for you to lead it back to rest. You can follow this exact sequence to ensure success every time you wake up. First, remain calm and keep the lights off. Then immediately start the 4-7-8 breathing cycles to signal safety to your nervous system. Next, move directly into your progressive muscle relaxation, starting from your feet and working upward to your face, ensuring that every muscle group is completely limp. Finally, use the cognitive shuffle to occupy your mind with neutral imagery until your thoughts become blurry and fragmented. Keep a glass of water nearby, but do not turn on any screens or check the clock under any circumstances. Consistency is the secret ingredient here, so practice this even when you feel tired during the day. By repeating this loop, you are building a muscle memory that will eventually make falling back asleep automatic. You have now learned that you can lower your heart rate with 4-7-8 breathing, melt away physical stress using progressive muscle relaxation, and quiet your racing thoughts with cognitive shuffling. These 3 tools are your best defenses against those middle-of-the-night interruptions that steal your energy. Remember, you must stop forcing sleep, avoid the blue light of your phone, and never calculate the hours left on your alarm clock. Please hit the like button to signal to your own brain that you are taking your health seriously. Subscribe to ensure you always have access to this manual for your body, and share this video because you could be the one to save a friend from the misery of chronic pain or exhaustion. You are fully capable of controlling your own biology by simply changing the signals you send to your brain. Stop fighting the night and start resting. You are back in control of your sleep.